Well, good day, everyone. I'm Martin Tyner with Enoch Wildlife Rescue, and many of you recognize my dear friend here. This is Belle, the Harris hawk, and so we're going to be talking to you guys a little bit about our foundation and what we're doing here. Let me get this up a little bit higher. So, there we go. That's not cutting off the top of my head. And so, welcome to our Vlogmas. We're having a great time visiting with everybody and talking about our wildlife foundation, our wildlife rescue. And why don't we go ahead and start with choosing a number.
Boy, man, give me a second here. Still getting things set up, and you already want your little treat for the day.
I do.
You want to know because I told you it's a good one, right? You're curious.
I'm waiting. It's a surprise. So yes, absolutely.
Okay, number 4 for December 4th. Can you see that?
Name that bird.
Name that bird. So now you can kind of decide how you want to play this. I've got 9 stills and 1 video, and they're of various birds throughout history. So I know you're going to know them, but maybe you can give hints and let everybody else try to guess them as well, because it's all our regular peeps, man. They should know these, right? So this is kind of a test for them, and you can decide how you like to go about it. So what do you think, Coach?
Yeah, go ahead and put the pictures up and see if I even know what they are.
Okay, well, remember that's it may be a bird or it may be your bird, so keep that in mind too. So we don't have to name the bird, but we have to name that bird too. Get it? So ready?
Yes.
All right, but don't give it away fast. Let everybody else have their little time to guess too, maybe.
All right. Okay, name that bird. This is actually a juvenile picture of one of our wildlife ambassadors. This particular bird came to us about 5 years ago from a captive breeding program in Louisiana. And so he's a major part of our family. And so that should be a pretty good hint. Guys, chime in. Who is that?
I should have uploaded some little Jeopardy music to play or something. How long do you think we would wait? Because we got the delay, and we'll just let people guess amongst themselves.
Sure, you can guess among yourselves, but and we can certainly tell you.
So I guess that it's not Scout.
That's true. It is not Scout, and it is not Helen, and it is not Striker. So we're reducing it down a little bit, and so I'm not sure if anything's coming in or not for you, but
Nah, you can give it up.
I can give it up. That is Belle, right here that I'm holding. Our Harris hawk. That's Belle's baby picture. When we first got Belle, she's in her juvenile color. And now Belle is in her adult color, so you can see the dark color on her has a lot of lighter speckling in it, and that's part of the juvenile color. And as an adult, all that color turns black. So yeah, that's a picture of Belle.
Ready for the next one?
Absolutely. Okay. Too bad we have the head cut off on that one.
The head cut off? Oh, I think it is on for you. I don't see it for me.
Oh, it's okay. It's just that I'm looking at it on my phone.
Okay, let me see if I can.
There you go, a little bit better.
Okay.
Okay. Now we've talked about this particular bird of prey often. This is actually one that is highly migratory. In fact, we have trapped this particular species of bird of prey in the mountains of northwestern Utah, and they've been recovered all the way down in Chile, South America. So they're highly migratory. They basically are is the bird that everybody loves to hate, because these birds fly around subdivisions and they hunt small birds. And so these guys, if you put out a bird bath and you get this beautiful robin come in the springtime, and you say, oh, there's a beautiful robin, our first robin for the spring, and this brown bird comes racing through the backyard, grabs the robin by the head, kills it, and eats it. Please don't be mad at him, because he's doing his job. And his job is to help keep the flocks of songbirds healthy by going through and culling out the weak, the sick, and the dumb. So what kind of hawk is that we have right here in Utah? In fact, this was photographed in my backyard. But they are found all over North America and down all the way into South America. This is the Cooper's hawk.
I didn't know. I only knew because the picture, like the name of the picture, was adult Cooper's hawk. Ready
Yes,
for the next? Ready for the next one? I think you're like this one.
You know, again, one of my very favorite birds. This bird is the largest flying bird in North America, a wingspan of more than 10 feet. This particular bird is a scavenger, and this particular bird almost went extinct. And in fact, if I remember correctly, there was only about 27 of these birds left in the world when we brought them all into captivity and started a captive breeding program. And now they've raised more than 400 of them. They've been returning them back to the wild. And the great news is they were very restricted to California, which is a big hint. But now they've been released here in northern Arizona and southern Utah as well. And so I do get to see these flying overhead every once in a while. Let you guys, that should be plenty of hits for everybody.
Well, we did get this. Let me see here. There we go. I've got to. There we go. Lori S. Do you see that? Lori S says condor.
Yeah, the California condor.
Oh, and we got M127 condor.
There you go. And that particular photograph was taken on the mountains just east of my home. And so we do get to see the condors fly around here. And so if you do come into southern Utah, especially in the summertime, I can certainly point you to a couple of good places to go condor watching if you'd like.
Okay, next.
Oh yes, really quite adorable. This particular bird is frequently confused with a bird of prey, because this is actually not a bird of prey. Some people think it's a falcon because it has long, slender wings. But look at its mouth. It's got a huge, huge mouth for the size of the bird. And compared to most birds of prey, the eyes are very, very small. It's a small bird. It's very, very lightweight, soft and fluffy. So some people do think that it's an owl, but it's not. This bird is a western bird here. We have it in Utah and throughout the western United States, but it's a very, very close cousin to the eastern whippoorwill. So what kind of a bird is that?
Got no guesses so far. I know it's not scout.
Definitely not scout.
Oh, wait. We have a guess here. Ready? This is from M127 again. It says nightjar or that family.
Yeah, we call them a nighthawk. It's the common nighthawk.
Ah, look at this. Loria said nighthawk.
There you go. So we've got some real birders here watching our program.
These cats are definitely smarter than me. All right, next one.
Next one. Okay. Actually, this is the bird that a lot of people confuse the common nighthawk with, but it's not. Obviously, the nighthawk is not a hawk, and neither is this a hawk. This one is nocturnal. This particular bird basically migrates through Utah along the foothills. We do have some nesting in Utah. They like to nest between around 7 to 9,000 feet up in the forest areas. This particular bird, um, big yellow eyes. Um, those big eyes means that it's nocturnal, and it's frequently thought of as a baby great horned owl, but it's not, because there's no such thing as a baby great horned owl. Um, by the time the owls hatch and are full grown, it's like 12 weeks. And so there's no baby owls in the wintertime. So what is our little friend here?
No guesses coming in yet. Someone said owl, but not quite sure what kind.
Right?
So what's the word, Martin?
This is a screech owl. And we get these in every winter. Um, you know, people will call me up and say, there's a baby great horned owl just hit the window of my house. It's on the ground. Can you come rescue it? And I go, there was no such thing as a baby great horned owl in January. And every time it's the screech owls. They are full grown when they're very tiny. And since we brought that up, I wasn't going to tell you, but I guess I will.
I thought we have a schedule for tomorrow. Our mystery guest.
Our mystery guest. Okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow then.
All right.
Okay. So anyway, that's a screech owl. It's one of the owls that we rescue pretty regularly all winter long.
Next.
Okay.
Are you able to see enough?
I know what it is, but like I said,
I only
get a part
smaller.
Part of the picture, but it's fine for me.
Let me see. I'm trying to make it smaller. There we go.
There you go. The head is still not showing well, but anyway, this is an extremely large bird. It's exclusively a fish eater. It migrates from the Great Salt Lake, where it has one of the largest, and listen to the term, rookeries in North America, is in the Great Salt Lake. They will leave the Great Salt Lake and they will fly about 30-40 miles to Utah Lake, because the Great Salt Lake is too salty. There's no food for them there, but there's a lot of food in Utah Lake. And so they're here in the spring and summertime, and they head down to primarily the Gulf of Mexico for the winter time. And these come in two varieties, which is this one, which is white, and we have another one that's brown. So that should be plenty of clues. What is that, guys?
We've got some guesses coming in already. Kaylee says white pelican. Lori says pelican. And M127 says pelican with a strange shaped beak.
Well, it is a pelican, but its beak is normal shape. The big knot on the top of the beak, that's, if I remember correctly, that's a male, and that's a very old pelican because that notch is quite large. And so yeah, that's a white pelican, and we've rescued quite a few of these over the last 40 plus years, when they just kind of, on their migration up to the Great Salt Lake, they run out of steam, and they end up on the ground in the valleys around here, and we bring them into our rescue center, and we grind up fish for them, and I have to tube feed them the fish, and we get them several good meals, get them fattened up, and then what we'll generally do is, instead of just turning them loose to let them fly another 300 miles to their destination, what we will normally do is we'll actually load the pelican into the car, and we'll drive them up to the Great Salt Lake and release them at one of the big bays, Willard Bay mostly, there at the Great Salt Lake in their wetlands sanctuary, so that they get a little bit of a rest, and then they're able to go back to their normal feeding patterns. Okay, this is another one of our little nocturnal friends. This particular bird, again, We get them coming through primarily in the winter times, though we do have them nesting here in Utah. And again, they like to nest along the foothills in the pinyon and juniper forest areas. Beautiful, beautiful little bird. Um, really love to see them and to handle them, and we rescue quite a few each year. In fact, a few years ago, we had a gentleman that cut down a big old pine tree in his yard, and the pine tree had this big woodpecker hole in the pine tree, and there was a nest of, I believe, 6 of these in the hole in the tree. And fortunately, the chainsaw did not cut through the nest itself, so we had a whole bunch of these we had to raise one year. Um, like I said, beautiful nocturnal. What is it, guys?
Well, here's a good guess. At 127 says a very cute owl.
It is a very cute owl, but what kind of owl?
Oh, here we go. Mad World says Saw-whet.
You're exactly right. It's a saw-whet owl, and so we get several of those in every year.
Okay, next one. Oh, look at that.
Oh, an ugly guy with a beautiful bird, dressed in really funny clothes.
Yeah, that's you back in the 1800s, right? Or 1700s.
No, that's actually me in the 1400s.
Oh, okay. Somewhere
I'm
back
that
there.
old. You can see I look much younger there, so that just shows you how old I am. Okay, the picture of me for a dozen years. I performed at the Utah Shakespeare Festival as a master falconer, and all of the patrons that would come to the festival, I had a regular evening program that I did, and they would come and they would sit down, and I would teach them falconry as if they were my 14th century students. And so I did a lot of programs there. I did not only this particular show, but we did field excursions where we took people out to wildlife habitats to look at a variety of different kinds of hawks, eagles, falcons, and so on. And I taught classes at the university on falconry and Shakespeare. And so, I was quite the nerd, and still am. This little guy that I'm holding here is and was the very, very finest of his species that I have ever seen fly, and we loved him to death. Unfortunately, he was only with me for about 5 years, and he was flying and hunting, and a wild golden eagle swooped out of the sky from 30,000 feet, caught him, and hauled him off and ate him. And so he kind of broke my heart to lose him. And because we were there at the Utah Shakespeare Festival, we named him Willie. What kind of bird is that?
Well, we got one guess here says a falcon.
It is a falcon.
And then we got another guess that says peregrine falcon.
Not a peregrine.
Well, you ready to tell us?
Yeah, he's actually my favorite falcon. Now, here in Utah, we have 2 what we consider a large falcon species, which one is the peregrine, and that is Striker, the peregrine that I'm hunting with right now, and Helen, our wildlife ambassador, and she's a female peregrine, and their colorations are quite different. And so this is not a peregrine. The other large falcon we have is called a prairie falcon, and this is our native desert falcon that we fly, and they're of similar size to the peregrine. They're a lot more aggressive, and their style of flight is my preferred style of flight to watch a falcon fly. And so that is a native Utah prairie falcon.
We did get one right answer. Amanda said prairie falcon.
There you go.
See, they just need more time to go through Google, I bet. No, just kidding. All right,
Yep.
Next one. Let's see here. Is that, there we go.
Okay, this is a again. This is a juvenile bird of prey. This is one of our was one of my falconry birds and one of my educational birds. Now, if you look at that prairie falcon, you will notice the prairie falcon is kind of brownish on the back, and this one's more black on the back. This one has a much thicker mustache below the eye. It's definitely a falcon because it has the black eyes, and it's having a little bit of breakfast. This particular bird loves very, very high cliffs. We find these frequently in Zions and Bryce and anywhere where there's very large cliffs. And a dead giveaway is that I have two of these right now. One is a wildlife ambassador and one is a personal hunting bird. So everybody should know what this is. What kind of bird is that?
A bald eagle.
I don't have two bald eagles right now.
Well, here's a Shelley. She said this is a. Does that count?
No, not quite.
Well, I think here we go. Shelley says Peregrine falcon, but I think she means peregrine falcon.
Peregrine falcon, that's right. That was one of my peregrine falcons from a few years ago.
So that the little stuff on the head there, is that somebody else's feather?
You have to slide it down because I can't see the top of the head.
Oh, okay. See there, this right there. Can you see?
Yeah,
that?
basically this is a young one, and this one is basically not fully grown, and its feathers aren't fully grown in, and so it's dropping down feathers, and so that was just a down feather that came off its body that fluffed up and landed on his head.
Okay, last picture.
Okay, last picture. Everybody should know this. This is our resident species. There are in this particular group of birds of prey, there are only two found in North America, and this particular one is the most common one. That we do have both species here. It is a desert variety of its species. It is one of the most highly prized birds in falconry. The Mongolians is a good hint. The Mongolians love these birds for falconry, and he is by far my very, very best friend. And this bird has been my best friend for 17 years. He is 20 years old, and he is the most famous wildlife ambassador that I have. So everybody should know who this is. They not only should know what kind, but they should know his name.
And he also has a YouTube plaque.
He actually has a YouTube plaque. He's very famous.
Okay, here we go. We've got Manda. She said golden eagle. Shelley said golden eagle. M127 said gotta be Scout or one of his fam. Shelley asks, is this Scout? Alora says golden eagle.
And you're all correct. That's a golden eagle, and that is Scout. That is, like I said, my very, very best friend. Of course, Belle here is a dear friend as well. So not to say anything bad about Belle, because she's a sweetheart.
So for our last name that bird, we've got, okay, it's 9:24 though. Do you have to go? Should we wait this tomorrow or?
Let's go ahead and grab the last one.
Okay,
and then I'll have
it runs about a minute, but just tell me to stop it if you need to go.
Go ahead.
Oh, actually it runs 4 minutes, so you can tell me when to stop it.
Oh, you heard that, huh, Belle? Now, what you're going to see here is this little video is me taking one of my young falcons out, and I believe this one's a prairie falcon, and we're going to put it through its exercise program. Now, people ask me all the time, do you have some videos of your falcon flying? And right now, my peregrine right now that I'm flying leaves my glove, climbs to altitude, and so he disappears from sight very, very quickly. But right here, we're going to do some lure flying, which is a more beginning phase of the training. And so the falcon will actually fly around and chase its toy. And see, I'm swinging its toy. And this is the way we build up when it's a young bird, build up its strength and its endurance. Because what the falcon will do is I'll blow the whistle, the falcon will turn around and come back and try to catch the toy, and I will swing the toy out of the bird's way. Now, these large falcons in straight and level flight are capable of hitting speeds of about 70 miles an hour. In a terminal velocity dive, falcons have been clocked at a max speed of about 240 miles an hour. And so as I'm swinging this toy around, the falcon's in a shallow dive coming after its toy, and it will pass me here 70 to 100 miles an hour on some of the passes. Now, my job is to let him get as close to the toy as possible, but not allow him to catch it. If he touches the toy, he wins. The toy is immediately dropped to the ground. He flies down to his toy, and then he's rewarded with his breakfast. And these guys will fly so fast that sometimes I can't swing the toy fast enough, and the birds, no matter what I do, are going to catch it. But this is the young one that's just learning its skills. And so this is the process that we use, like I said, to develop their fitness and their agility, their strength, and also it helps to develop the bond between the falconer and myself. So the bird knows that when it sees that toy come out, that there's its breakfast, and all it has to do is catch it. And this is
okay. So we gotta let you go because it's 9:27. So, you know what?
Yes.
I think. Well, I guess you're gonna have your mystery guest more, but we didn't really get to see much of Belle today because we had all those pictures. I forgot it was a short day.
Well, we'll bring Belle back another day as well.
All right. So you gotta get to your appointment. So should we go ahead and do our sign-offs?
Yeah. Thanks, guys. You guys have been wonderful. Our fundraiser for Vlogmas has been going very, very well. I'm not sure what we're over. I think we're over $900 as money raised for our Enoch Wildlife Rescue through this. And so thank you so very, very much, everybody, for all that you guys have done. You guys have been absolutely amazing, and we're going to take you on a personal visit with me to the new Enoch Wildlife Rescue here in just a few days. And so please stay tuned for that. We do have, we've got starting to get pledges. We've got to get a new external hard drive for DG. We've produced about 500 videos that you guys have been able to watch. And so we need to get a new external hard drive to store all of that. And you can contact DG on how you can help. And
Oops.
And I guess DG, got anything else?
Nope, think we're good to go.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Like I said, I've got to run. I've got physical therapy to get to. And yes, so we got to get you put out and get to therapy. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.